the line for tech inspection now, and so far I think all the 911 drivers are trying to figure out why the guy in the four-door Mercedes is here, but that's part of being a noob, and I'm looking forward to getting out there and doing my thing and watching the rest of these folks do their thing. So gotta wait in the line, gotta do tech inspection, make sure we're ready to go, and then I'll find a parking spot and start emptying stuff out of the car. If you've watched my first episode, you know my goal is to decide the right path toward exploring my track car obsession. I'm here at Virginia International Raceway to test my current car, the Mercedes C450 AMG, to see how it handles in a track setting. After a few runs in the morning, learning my car and the track, here's my first run after lunch. Now, being somewhat familiar with the track, I wanted to pay close attention to how the car felt, how comfortable I felt pushing it, and how much I could keep up with the more track-ready Porsches around me. My goal this day is to have fun and learn. It's also to decide if the C450 can be my one car to rule them all. Coming out of the pit here as I prepare to slow down into Horseshoe, which is turn 1, I'm paying close attention to my lines as well. Since the C450 is big and heavy, I want to feel how it handles the turns, and I'm conscious about not wanting to upset the dynamics, trying to drive smooth, as they say. Throughout the day, I also feel the tires, while good, are the weak link in my handling setup. They are street tires after all, and I have to drive home on them. Here in turn 3, known as NASCAR Bend, I had been practicing all morning trying to keep pace here and into left hook, turns 4A and B. I had seen if I could keep moving fast through this section, and the next one called Snake, I stood a good chance of carrying momentum into the climbing S's, and that meant my average speed on the front leg of the track was higher. Even so, as you'll see here and in later laps, I can't keep up in this section with Caymans and 911s in my sedan. As good as the AMG suspension is, they can stay flatter in turns 1 through 6, and that means by the time we get to the crossover bridge, I'm usually 5 to 10 car lengths back. Here's the climbing S's, probably my second favorite area of the track. If I can keep it straight here, clipping apexes, I can get acceleration all the way through and come out of this section at a faster speed. My times through this section get visibly faster as this session continues. Turn 10 is South Bend, and that's my signal that I need to be thinking about turn 11 and then Oak Tree. There's a steep elevation change here too, descending part of the climb we made all the way up through the S's. So for all of those reasons, braking is sort of important. I had learned that morning that I want to hit Oak Tree in my torque band of second gear so I can fully accelerate here, out of turn 12, and wring out the gears for the back straight. Now notice here we're about to be climbing again. Lots of elevation changes on this track. Throughout the day I was testing the size of my nerve as I accelerate toward this peak in the second half of straight 13. In the morning I was hitting it at around 110 miles an hour. By the afternoon I was touching 130 as I crested the hill. That's a pucker factor of about 11 because carrying that speed over a blind hill means I can't see if cars are on the other side. More elevation change in turns 13 through 17, which for me is the most technical part of this track. All day I felt I could do a lot better hitting my apexes through here, since a couple of these turns are long, and finding my line through this area was always a challenge. Into the front straight as we approach the start-finish line and the pit. You can see I pitted here as a courtesy to the Cayman behind me who was probably stuck in second gear because of me. So I let him, and embarrassingly a Macan, and a few others pass, and then I'm out of the pit, back onto the track, headed for Horseshoe. I'll speed up lap 2 a bit, but you can see I'm focused on my lines, keeping my speed high. Throughout this lap I've got clear track ahead of me and there was no one in my mirror. In other words, I'm the slow guy on the track, but I wasn't trying to be first. I was trying to learn and test the car. stay on my racing line through lap 2 and keep my pace up through my first part of lap 3. And then look what happens. Somebody's catching up. I start to see cars in front of me again. Now watch as I come out of Oak Tree and accelerate like hell into the back straight. I keep the 911 in front of me in view. I want to be able to see him as I head over the crest of that straight. It may not look like it, but I'm doing 130 miles per hour coming over this crest, carrying a lot of speed after the hill, and then onto the brakes hard. I've got to prepare to manage the technical bits of turns 14, 15, 16 A and B, and through turn 17 to the front straight. Earlier in the day, I wouldn't have kept up with this 911. Now I keep pace. Some of that is the comfort with the car, some of it's my nerve getting steadier as I push my skill, and it also helps the traffic ahead is giving me a fighting chance. As the sessions continued and the laps added up, I had grown increasingly aware of a voice in the back of my head trying to tell me something. After 6 laps in this session, I pulled in early, thinking about my tires and the fact that I had about a 4-hour drive home that afternoon. What had that little voice been trying to tell me? It took me most of that 4-hour drive home to figure it out. So after a day at the track, what have I learned? Well, it's time to make some choices. And it's time for me to update my track car decision tree. But first, how did the C450 do on its day at the track? Well, it had some pluses and some minuses. On the plus side, the car certainly got enough power for a driver of my skill set. I never had to work too hard to get the car to go as fast as I'm capable of going. Poise and safety were also a plus. Even with a limited amount of track time, I never had a hard time getting the car to handle well and make its way in and out of corners. And with all-wheel drive and the way the car puts down its power, I felt comfortable. I felt safe. The brakes were also a plus. With big rotors all the way around, 14.2-inch drilled rotors in the front, even without fancy carbon ceramic brakes, the car's got a lot of stopping power. On the negative side, I talked about a couple of things in the driving video. The tires were an issue. Not being a track-only tire meant they felt a little mushy, and I could feel they were the limitation in the handling of the car coming in and out of corners. And the fact that the car is a 4-door sedan inherently means it corners less flat than a 911 or a Cayman. And so as my driving skill grows, I began to wonder whether or not this car could grow with me. Will it ever be able to go as fast as I might be one day capable of going? So what had that little voice been trying to tell me that day? Well, I realized that taking my daily driver to the track just won't be a suitable option for me. I know there'll always be a psychological barrier in the back of my head as I think about my one and only car being wrapped around the tree as I drive it at triple-digit speeds around a track. And so for that reason, I know that having one car and using it for both the road and the track will limit my ability to push myself and learn and gain skill as I explore my track driving fascination. Did I enjoy taking the C450 to the track and pushing it to its limits? Absolutely. Could it ever be my one car to rule them all, serving all my needs for the road and the racetrack? No. So what now? On the next episode of Between the Wheels, I'll update my track car decision tree, and I'll share my short list of cars on the 2 paths before me, the sweet hot rod path and the less expensive beater path. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this episode, I hope you'll give a like and subscribe below. See you next time.